Hi, Emily. Thank you for meeting with me again this week. I just want to remind you, same as always, this can be shown in class. Some people could see it. If something that we say on here you don't want anyone else to know, just let me know, and we won't share the video. Then also, I can't give you any real advice, but I'm just here to listen.
Okay.
Okay, so last week we kind of got onto the topic of relationships, and we started talking about it a little bit. And you briefly mentioned your boyfriend, which is now ex-boyfriend, but we didn't go into much like depth about that. So can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, we broke up.
Okay.
Well, he broke up with me, but pretty much he just sucks.
Okay, it just sucks. So when did you guys break up?
Last Sunday?
Last Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's been like not even a week, just a few days.
Well, like a week from, because that's like, we talked about it last session and we had broken up like this Sunday.
Okay,
before.
right, gotcha. Okay, I was confused.
No, it's okay, yeah.
So how are you feeling about that?
I mean, I feel like the very stereotypical, like, boys suck, it's fine, like, we'll get over it and just, like, move on to a new one, you know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Go hard, right?
Right.
So can you tell me a little bit about why you guys think you broke up?
Well,
or why you think you guys broke up?
He just called me, and I mean, first of all, he called me some really inappropriate names, which I did not appreciate. And he basically just called me and said that it like wasn't worth it, wasn't working out, and he was just like over it, and he was done.
So what you're saying kind of makes me seem that you're a little annoyed about the situation.
Yeah, I just like didn't really. I mean, I didn't really think that the situation like warranted us like breaking up. I didn't really think. I thought that was like a little extreme.
Okay. So what's this situation that you're talking about?
Well, I went to a party the night before, and like, I personally don't feel like if you're intoxicated, you should be responsible for your own actions. That's just how I view it because you aren't thinking clearly and you're not in the right state of mind. So why would someone like hold you accountable for that? That's just not fair. But he thinks that just because I made out with some boy, even though I was too drunk to remember it, that's me cheating on him, and he got all offended, and that's when he was called me and was like calling me inappropriate names and was like, "This just isn't worth it. I just can't do this anymore."
Okay. So he broke up with you because you cheated on him.
Yes, that's how he feels about it.
How do you feel about it? Do you feel like you didn't cheat on him?
I mean, like if I was sober, I would say yeah, like making like if he was sober and he's making out with some girl, I'd be like, okay, like that's not cool. But I mean, if he was drunk, I'd be like, oh, he's just not thinking clearly. Like it's whatever. He doesn't mean it.
So you wouldn't be upset if he kissed another girl even though he was drinking?
I mean, if I was like watching it, I would be like, hey, like I'm standing right here, make out with me instead. But like, if I wasn't there and he was drunk, like no, and he just like told me about it, he's like, hey, like I don't remember this, but someone told me I did this last night at the party. Like, just thought you should know in case like someone makes a joke about it, and I'd be like, okay, like whatever, you were drunk.
But don't you think maybe sometimes in relationships you need to avoid those situations so you can be faithful to somebody?
I mean, maybe if you're married. Like, if you're married, I feel like you shouldn't be, like, running around making out with people whether you're drunk or not. That's fair.
But you maybe feel because you're young, you can do those things?
It's not like we're married. Like, I haven't been like, I'm marrying you and only the two of us. Like, you're the only person I'm going to kiss for the rest of my life. Like, we're just in college, you know?
So you said earlier that you think that when you drink alcohol, you can't be responsible for your actions.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, I mean, like, obviously, if you're drunk, like, you're not thinking clearly. So, I mean, I guess, obviously, like, drunk driving, not okay. Like, people go to jail for that. That's a real thing. So I guess, technically, like, if someone's life is in danger, that's not cool. But at the same time, like, that's why you have, like, designated drivers or people who are, like, responsible for you. So, like, if it's those types of things, you have other people who are responsible for you. Like, obviously, no one expects you to drive yourself home drunk. So, like, you can't be responsible for driving when you're drunk.
Yeah. But at 20 years old, don't you think maybe you should be responsible for yourself in situations?
Yeah. Maybe you should just, like, be responsible enough before you get drunk to, like, not, like, make sure that your keys aren't where you can reach them. Or, like, if you, like, think that there's a chance you could just, like, make out with some boy, then, like, don't go to the party where there's boys, but also, like, who doesn't go to a party where there's boys? So that's
Have you ever thought about maybe just responsibly drinking and still being able to consume at a party, but maybe just consume less or consume the same amount over a longer period of time?
Yeah, that's probably true. I feel like you can normally tell when you're like, okay, like maybe enough is enough now, and then either you like keep going, you're like, okay, like going home. So maybe just like being better at drinking.
Yeah. So do you think maybe in the future, and maybe in your next relationship, you could implement this more responsible drinking so that you don't accidentally cheat on somebody?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I could think about that.
You could think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do that. You're kind of, I can tell that you're kind of starting to feel a little bit better about the situation. So maybe next session we can just go a little bit deeper into
Yeah.
responsibly drinking.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for meeting with me today, Emily.
Sure.